Welcome to the Sustainable Success Show, where we share real-world ideas, strategies, and systems to help you build success that lasts in business and life. Each episode delivers practical insights you can apply immediately without burnout, chaos, or short-term fixes that don't scale. At the foundation is emotional intelligence and effective communication, how you lead yourself and how you connect with others across personalities, generations, and cultures, because that's where trust, engagement, and performance are created. I'm Christopher Salem, your host, and this is where sustainable success becomes your competitive advantage. Hi, welcome to the Sustainable Success Show. I'm your host, Chris Salem. Hope everybody is having a great week, and we are excited to have you here if this is your first time. We encourage all of our first-time listeners to check us out not only on YouTube, where you probably found us, but also on our other areas on the audio version with our Spotify channel, our Apple channel. Also, you can find us on Amazon Music and on iHeart. We also have a Facebook page called Sustainable Success 2017 because we started this show back in 2017. Yes, we've been on the air now for over 9 years. It's hard to believe, but we went to a new format back earlier this year. So now you can watch our show rather than just listen to it, since we were only an audio-based show for the first roughly 8.5 years. We want to thank you, all your loyal listeners that have been with us from day one, especially with the new format change that we did back in January. And again, we are committed to your success each and every week by bringing in subject matter experts, sharing their words of wisdom and insights to help elevate you and your business to the next level. Today's show is being brought to you today by Alumni Direct. Alumni Direct is a social media community platform dedicated to bringing alumni together from all different generational types and an opportunity to meet new people for the first time. Now, it is a membership program taking out all the noise out of social media. You get to generate genuine and authentic relationships with the people you choose to interact with. If you'd like some more information about Alumni Direct, check them out at alumnidirect.com. That's alumnidirect.com. Well, excited as always with another great episode that we're going to have here for you today. We highly encourage you to also share the show with your colleagues or anyone that you feel requires to hear the content that you're going to be hearing today. We're going to be talking about why more work won't set you free. Yeah, why maybe working harder could be working against you and costing you more money in your business. Well, we got the right person here today. We're going to be talking with Raad. Mark is a digital investor, educator, and co-founder of eBusiness Institute, where he has spent over 27 years helping people build online income through buying, renovating, and growing websites. Along with his wife, Liz, Matt pioneered strategies around digital assets and online business acquisitions long before digital real estate became mainstream. Drawing from his background in business and acquisition, he now teaches professionals and entrepreneurs and families how to create leveraged income streams and lifestyle freedom through online businesses without needing advanced technical skills. Well, you're going to find out even more information about that, including all of Matt's contact information that is in the show notes. And of course, Matt will be providing some more information on how to connect with them here at the end of the show. And without further ado, we welcome Matt Raad to the show. Matt, how you doing today?
Very well, thanks, Chris. Great to be here.
Yes, it's a pleasure to
some
be
of my
here.
insights.
Yes, we are looking forward to it. And I know we're on 2 different time zones, but you are here and so excited to have you here. So Matt, I guess we'll start off with, we always like to start off on a personal perspective. Like what, from your personal perspective, what brought you here that you're going to be sharing these insights today on why working hard is not particularly the answer and what could be some other better ways we do it. Just your foundation of what led you up to what you're going to share with us today.
Yeah, really good question. From my point of view, it's a very powerful time in human history. We've got this thing called AI, and it is literally disrupting everything. But also, it comes at a really interesting period in time for myself. I've been coaching high performance type individuals, call them type A, ultra high achiever types, typically ex-corporate or working way too hard in their businesses. I've been teaching them how to escape the rat race. I've been doing that for the last 16 years now, plus the way that I've done it is through buying and selling businesses, online businesses. And what I've noticed though with our clients over that 16 years, particularly in the last few years, the burnout is real. It is way bigger than what it was when we were teaching people 16 years ago. And it's just interesting, when to be on your podcast, to be able to talk about this, making life easier somehow. The people are working way long hours. I don't think there's such a thing now for a highly paid individual to work 9 to 5. It's 5 to 9 in every single conversation I have. Not only that, they have the stress of possibly losing their jobs, particularly we've got lots of clients in the US. And Chris, they just tell me it's a bit different to here in Australia. You guys have got this thing, the right to work bill or whatever it is, and it's not existent now in that you can be literally, I work with a lot of senior level people, and they say they get the message, you are terminated. Like you pack your stuff and go. And that's some of the clients that I'm helping. And so people need that insurance these days. I think that's the way I view it. It's what I've seen in the last few years. I think it's even more important now for people to seriously think about their future and building an alternative kind of asset or security for themselves and their family, other than their standard job or standard business.
Yeah, love it. Thanks for sharing that and setting the foundation, what we're going to talk about today. Well, I can tell you, here in the North America, particularly in the United States, we, a lot of people, work long hours. We work hard. We've been taught that, the harder we work, the more successful we'll be. But burnout is real, Matt, and there's a lot of it going on. And some people may be in denial. Some people may not even realize they are burned out, but it's showing up. It's not only impacting their health and their mental state of being, but it's starting to show in their numbers, and perhaps that numbers start to now regress, not accelerate. And if you could kind of share some insights from your experience in working with business owners and entrepreneurs and so on, we would love to hear your insights.
Well, one of the things that we get people to do, and I think it's a really smart strategy, and it sounds so simple, is just start a simple little side hustle outside of what you do at work or in your normal business or job. And what we've found is, and obviously, full disclosure, I'm very biased here, it would be an online one that's based, that you can use the internet for and all the amazing things we can do online, because that's just the way of the future, and it's so much easier now. But the cool thing is you can start a little tiny side hustle, get it to making, we're not talking life-changing sums of money in terms of numbers, but those little $1,000 a month type businesses can turn into something way bigger later on down the track if you need to jump ship. Or like I don't know if is that an Australian term? If you need to, leave your job or whatever. And I can give you some great examples. We have, I think of like Nathan and Alexa, a young couple we have who we trained up. They escaped their 9 to 5 careers by doing exactly this. And they now buy little tiny websites. They might just be they're undervalued, they're not loved, they've kind of been neglected, and we call them diamonds in the rough, and the people just sell them cheaply. And so Nathan and Alexa know what they're doing. They buy these little websites, they fix them up, and one of them they bought was a gardening site. It was a gentleman that had it for like 14 years or something, and it wasn't making any money.
Yeah.
It had lots of visitors, very specific niche. It was in like native gardens. This sounds really bizarre, right? But listen to what happened. They approached him and said, "Notice you haven't posted anything on your blog for years. What are you doing with the site?" And he said, "Oh yeah, you can have it for $400, something like that. It's about $400, $500." And they bought it because it's real. It's got a real following in this day and age of AI. That's really important. It's very niche. It can't be replaced by AI. They've built that up. It now gets in spring, it gets over 80,000 visitors a month coming to it, all very specifically interested in gardening, native gardening. That site now makes them $4,000 a month net. So is it life-changing sums of money? No, but it lets Nathan and Alexa.
Oh, that's good.
Own 5 of those.
Supplemental income that will
Supplemental income, yeah.
Pay the bill, pay some bills.
Yeah, and that's right. That's where it starts. So what we're all about is getting people to just take small little steps. I think maybe for your listeners, if you're trapped in working so hard, and by the way, I do teach, we teach our kids this, there's nothing wrong with working hard. I think that's really, really important. I think it is a good thing. But what I think these days is you need to be working smart, and you need to be making sure you're building something for yourself and your family. And if you're the kind of person that's happy to work hard, then this sort of stuff should be a no-brainer. Starting a side hustle that you can work on in the evenings or just on the weekend maybe. You just need to find a way that you're not tied to it 9 to 5. That's the main thing. As long as you can kind of park it when times get really busy and then come back to it. And for us, that's what we found all those years ago when Chris, my wife, and I used to buy and sell bricks and mortar businesses, but they were too hands-on. We then pivoted to buying online businesses, and that's when we realized, these are, okay, you got to work in them, but you can park them for you don't have to go there every day or be on them 9 to 5 or anything like that to make money out of them. And then the good thing with an online business is if you want to ramp it up, say like Nathan and Alexa, if they want to get really serious with that, there's strategies that you can do to leverage online businesses up because they work 24/7 worldwide. You don't just have a marketplace now in your local area. They're all around the world overnight. And these days with AI, it's really opened up some big opportunities.
Wow, that's great. Thank you for sharing that. What would you suggest, somebody listening right now, Matt, and whether if they're considering, looking at a digital business or just a business and maybe take the suggestion to do a side hustle. How would it start? Like, is there like exploring things of interest? Like you said, you got to look at the pros and cons, you got to look at your time, you got to look at where you could afford time. And again, making sure you have time to take care of other things important, that you don't overlook that.
Yeah, that's super important. The time thing is the number one thing now that we coach. It's the dreaded 4-letter word for every single person in our community that we end up helping them with. Time is probably first and foremost. But outside of that, that's up to your individual listeners too to work through. Where to start, in my opinion, is if you're interested in, say, what we do, like the online space, is just understanding how the online business model works. Just start to educate yourself on that, the different ways that you can make money. It is very exciting. There's so many different ways you can make money. But once you're really ready to have a go at it, the first step that we get everyone to do is just build a simple little website and get some leads coming into it and make your first $1. That's literally it. It's just that first little step because you can do it kind of part-time in the evenings. And Chris, a really cool strategy that is working really well for our beginners, like online, is to build a simple website for like a local business. And you'll see lots of success stories of that in our community, on our podcasts and stuff. That's where most people start, is because basically to get the digital skills you need, really, it's all about knowing how to build a website and how they make money. So we get people, we say to them, look, go and build something for free for your local, for your local tradesperson or some young guy that's starting out a business or a family friend or local charity, church or school or football club. Sporting clubs are really good to do this for. Just build it totally for free. There's no strings attached. If they don't like it, you can just delete it. But it more importantly gives you the runs on the board and the confidence to understand how all this online stuff works. And it gives you a sense of, I guess it gives you a micro win in that you can generate leads for them. And that's where we get people to start, believe it or not. It's just simply building a simple little website. And the rest, if you like it, then you continue. Then you do the next step. And then you can start looking at the next big step, if you want to buy websites, is buy something really small, like under $5,000, just to test the waters to see if you like it. That's our strategy in a nutshell for getting people out of their jobs. Believe it or not, that's what works. That's
love it. Love it. So I hope everybody takes note of that. And again, you're going to get an opportunity to contact Matt and his wife and be able to, you find out more information and where you can go with that. So what would be some other things that you would suggest for people listening, here? What, even whether if they, have, let's say they're looking to buy, a side hustle or looking to get into a business, looking to get out of their 9 to 5, or what about people that maybe already have a business, but yet are now that everything's regressing backwards because they're they're working way too hard, and it's not reflecting in their numbers at all.
I'm biased because this has been my career. So my career has been quite different. I haven't made wealth through real estate or standard 9 to 5. I've never had a job. I've always bought and sold businesses. So my answer, Chris, to that is, especially for business owners, but I'm talking for everyone in corporate as well, I would also educate yourself not on only how the online space works, but also on business exits, like buying and selling. I think that's a huge money-making, underlooked money-making, what do you call it, skill or niche for the future, because there's going to be so many opportunities coming up there, even in bricks and mortar world. I personally would never buy a bricks and mortar business again. I just love doing stuff online. But anything that's heavily driven by an online model, once you know what you're doing, and we call it discovering the diamonds in the rough, like Nathan and Alexa and a lot of our clients, they see websites that no one else sees the value in. And you can do that. If you're listening to this, you can do that with bricks and mortar businesses as well. The skill comes from, like you're asking, Chris, is a really good question. Where would you start? I know this sounds odd, but seriously, learn how businesses are bought and sold and what values them. Go and read a few books. There's heaps of stuff online about it as well. Understand how an exit works and how a business is valued. I can teach you in 5 minutes how the short answer, but understanding how an exit works, because if you want to exit your own business and find something better, but also, Chris, what we find is for business owners, once you set up for the exit, you've got a way better business from day one. So we say, and I know it's a cliche, lots of people say this, but always set your business up for exit from day one. It's definitely a very powerful money skill set, but I think it has more knock-on benefits in that what I see in our community, what I see as success is ordinary people, once they understand this, they then can pick out the diamonds in the rough, the undervalued assets that are sitting out there. And you think what's going to happen in society over these coming 5 years or so, there's going to be a lot of, baby boomers exiting businesses way undervalued, like the gentleman that sold the website to Nathan and Alexa. They don't know how to sell them. They just sell them for sometimes cents in the dollar. And for your listeners, if you know what you're doing and you're prepared to work hard because you've already got the work ethic, right? Instead of not making so much money, what if you get these underperforming assets because you know what to do with them and how they work and how to fix them up? I think that's a really, really cool skill set and to have for the future, I think. And particularly with AI now, all the big private equity firms are onto this. They're just buying old-fashioned legacy businesses and ramping them up with AI. It's a walk in the park for them.
So true. So true. And yeah, exit, finding ways to increase your not only your revenue, but more importantly, your net profit margin, which will obviously help increase your valuation in the business. Always important.
Yeah. And most business owners, Chris, I find their accountants don't teach them that stuff. Accountants aren't practical in that sense. They're more.
You don't know how to communicate properly to them, and it goes right over their head.
Yeah. And they just do the numbers and the tax returns, and that's fine. And I think too, in America, you guys are laughing. You guys have got we're jealous of it. America's like the place to do this. It is, the way your system is set up, it is so geared towards business owners and being an entrepreneur. It's a bit harder here for, I wouldn't say it's harder here in Australia. Australia likes to copy America, but America is definitely the place where I see most opportunity going forward in the future. I think it's really, everything that you guys do for a start is bigger. There's more of a marketplace, so it's a lot easier to carve out a little tiny micro niche, whether it's online or traditional businesses. But that idea of finding and understanding rundown businesses and buying them up is very powerful. But we do it a bit differently. We say, do it very, very safely. You shouldn't be going into debt to do that. Start out really small, and the easiest place to start out small is with a little tiny online business.
Wow, I love it. Love it. And let's say that again, you're gonna go the route of an online business, and you're not gonna know everything, and you're gonna, you have your strengths, you have your weaknesses. Again, another way to make sure you're working hard, but not too hard, but yet smarter. And you're gonna have to know how to, offset your weaknesses with resources or people that can do what they do best, allowing you to do what you do best. How important and why is it important in this case for delegating when it comes to what you shared with us today?
That's a really interesting question in this day and age. I'll say what I really think. It used 6 months ago or a year ago, it was very important. You outsource. You can just hire outsourced staff really easily on upwork.com. That's where we get most of our members. You can hire people for, $10 an hour, whatever. But these days, honestly, I think AI is going to do a lot of heavy lifting in the next 12 months.
If you know how to if you prompt it correctly, absolutely.
Yeah, if you prompt it correctly in what we do, we're teaching our members now all the prompts. They literally just we've got members who had teams in online business. They'd have like a team of, I'm just thinking of our coaches, Mark and Sylvia. About a year or two ago, they had 15 team members working on all their websites. 15, now 1 because of AI. So where do you get help and how important is it to delegate? It's really important to delegate, but we're using AI to do that for us now at the cost, what's Claude costs, it's $70 a month, or you got to pay a bit extra to get the extra usage. But the world's changed in our space in the last 12 months. I am now confident enough to say to people, you can rely on the AI. It is that good. Whereas 12 months ago, we were using AI like 2 years ago, and so were members in our community, of course, but it wasn't as reliable or as good. It wasn't practically replacing team members or experts. Now, for online businesses and for those of you in bricks and mortar businesses or even in corporate trying to figure your life out, just use AI. It is for planning and strategy. It is mind-blowing. But it is still very important in this day and age to understand. I also see where you're going with the question as well. Just thinking of who's listening to your podcast. I think too many people get trapped in the day-to-day thinking they've got to do stuff themselves.
Yeah.
Yes, we actually teach people, you got to start delegating stuff. You've got to find a way to automate things and delegate things. And we had to learn that. Liz and I, my wife and I, had to learn that when we came online. So in a bricks and mortar business, we tend to do everything ourselves. But when we came online, we realized you can hire a lot of experts at a fraction of the cost that you normally would, and they're all virtual. Like, we're hiring people from, all around the world, and $7 an hour, $10 an hour, and they do a lot of the heavy lifting for you. And that was one of the key things we had to learn. And I guess for your listeners, you still need to learn that. What Chris is saying is spot on. You have to figure out how to delegate. Otherwise, you are going to work 5 till 9 and work way too hard. At some point, you need a hand with things.
So true. And Matt, like in terms of like, let's say an online business, is it important? Like, let's say if you have an area of interest or experience, okay, that could be good, but it also has to be a demand for what you're providing online, right? We can't just try to force something that the numbers and the market research aren't there, so that's got to be important, making sure there's a demand for what your online source is doing and helping to make something better for them, a challenge better, and getting them a result they seek and don't have.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And the way we do it, that again, maybe your listeners haven't thought of, and I think it comes back to my answer, to one of your previous questions, which is, a key money-making skill is learning how to buy and sell online businesses. I think for the future, you can, in terms of market research for determining is there money to be made in this, you can use all the standard tools like keyword research, and AI now will literally give you the answer. But what I do, my go-to is, because I've just done this for the last 30 years, is I look at past business sales or see what else is sold out there. What are the role models of success? And I only need 1 or 2 to know, okay, this will work. And I'll go to platforms where we buy and sell websites, like all the brokers, or the key one, the best one for research on what business models are working online is a platform called flipper.com. It's where we buy and sell lots of websites. And the cool thing on Flipper is they give you all the data. Like, it's just handed to you on a plate. You just sign an NDA, and it's literally, there's all the research you need, every single thing about. So there's websites that list on there, and you can look at everything. So you can go into all sorts of weird and wonderful niches and go, I wonder if there's a listing on Flipper that's, maybe you see, say Nathan and Alexa, they saw that gardening site, right? There's heaps of gardening sites for sale on Flipper. There's actually a few for sale on there right now. It's a really good niche. but you can literally go and look them up and go, wow, someone's making $10,000 a month off this humble little gardening site. That's what I'm going to do. And so it's a really cool way to do market research, is look at what else is sold in your industry and get out there and talk to brokers. For business owners, super, super important. If you are thinking of exiting somewhere in the next 5 years, I'll be talking to brokers now. But mate, there's no obligation to talk. Don't sign up with them or anything like that. I mean, just go and have a chat to them about what else is sold in your niche. Or if you're thinking of going into a certain niche, don't just do the standard AI, online research. Go and look at website sales or business sales in that space. Really, it's a fun thing to do too. You'd learn so much. You get so many ideas from that you hadn't thought of.
Wow. Great stuff. Yeah, a lot of great information, a lot of golden nuggets here that Matt is sharing. Now, Matt, as we're getting near the end of the show, but before we do, I wanted to see if there was anything that you have not covered that you feel is imperative that's going to connect the dots to everything you shared around today's topic. And again, around looking at online businesses to buy.
Learn due diligence, which is tied to the idea of learning about buy and sell, how to buy and sell businesses. It's a super money making skill for the future, in my opinion. Thinking of what's about to come up, I think there's going to be huge opportunities if you have that as an alternative skill set. So imagine for a moment you've trained all your life in XYZ career, and presumably, you've done training in it, you've worked in it, maybe you've gone to university, got a degree in that. Put aside time in your evenings to get a degree in doing due diligence on websites or online businesses, and just start out small. So yeah, I think I've covered most things. I mean, Chris, how much time do we have? We could be here for the next few hours.
Yeah, I wish we had an hour. Yeah, we had an hour.
Yeah.
But no,
and start out small. I will say that too. Please don't rush out there and think you've got to spend, 6 figures on a business or anything. You don't have to do that these days. Just start out little tiny simple steps. Do things with no risk that don't cost you any money really, except for sweat equity. You just, get out there and you can build websites yourself now for, it's under $50. You need a bit of hosting and that's it. That's the way you learn. I call it, I think it is an American term, get scrappy. Learn how to do stuff these days with not a lot of money, but a lot of upside down the track if you decide to step on the accelerator. That would be my main bit of advice.
Well, Matt, this has been great. And I know we'll definitely like to have you back on another episode of Sustainable Success. And I want to make sure with the time we have left, I wanted to make sure the audience gets an opportunity to get in contact with you. What are you up to and anything that you'd like to provide them? But before we do that, I first want to thank you for taking the time out of your schedule, being on a completely different time zone to be here with us, sharing your insights. And we thank you here from not only myself, but the rest of the team here at Sustainable Success.
Well, thanks, Greg. Well, likewise, awesome questions that have got me thinking, and I'm sure I've helped your audience. They're just spot on questions. I'd love to be back on here.
I love it.
Audience members like it and want to learn more. Like we said, it was great fun being interviewed by you. It was really cool.
Well, thank you. And we want to so how can the audience best get in contact with you? What are you up to and anything that you'd like to provide them?
Well, you can follow me on LinkedIn, Matt Raad, RAAD. Just go and find my name there. That's probably the quickest way to connect up. But I would go and check out our ebusinessinstitute.com.au website, which is where we run courses in this stuff. You can do a free masterclass. You can go and check it out on how to buy and sell websites, see if it's the sort of thing you're interested in. Or you could listen to our podcast, Digital Investors Podcast, where we interview our clients who are really successful with this. So there's some really cool success stories of people like you as a listener, struggling away in the rat race, and you can see their journeys of how they've been able to escape, because there's a lot of different pathways you can take to do that, and it is particularly difficult, I understand, when you earn a lot of money. So you don't just want to be quitting your job straight away. So maybe go and check out our podcast for some alternative ideas.
Great. And we'll make sure all that information that Matt had provided, everything will be in the show notes across all the different platforms where you would like to interact with this content in this episode here. And again, we encourage everyone to share this episode with someone that can definitely benefit from it, and let us know. And if you have any questions, please connect with Matt. And if you reach out to us, we'll make sure to connect you directly with him as well. Thank you so much, Matt, for being here.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Chris.
And thank you, listeners, for joining us each and every week here at Sustainable Success Show. Again, we would not be here if it was without you. We encourage you to, again, share this episode and the show overall with people you think could benefit. And we are committed each and every week in bringing in subject matter experts like Matt in to share their words of wisdom to take you and your business till the next level. Till then, everybody, have a great rest of your Friday, and we'll see you here next Friday at the same time. Take care.